I'd make sure that Mistress knew what a real spectacle was. I was attending a charity gala, but my husband had the audacity to bring his kept mistress, that cheap woman, along with him. To ensure the event went smoothly, I had to swallow my humiliation. Who knew that Mistress would hold a press conference, twisting the narrative and blaming everything on me? Watching her feign innocence like some pitiful white lotus, I knew she had brought this upon herself. My life's principle has always been, when I act, I don't need to speak many words. My name is Serena T, an A-list celebrity in the entertainment industry. Just a minute ago, my husband and I were still a loving, devoted couple. Our married life was peaceful. Many actresses envied me for having a wealthy husband who doted on me endlessly. But at that very moment, my assistant, her face pale, leaned in and whispered something only I could hear. "My husband is bringing his kept mistress up in the elevator." I froze. Moments of intimacy with my husband flashed through my mind. I absolutely couldn't believe this was real. "Are you sure you're not mistaken?" My heart pounded in my throat, relentlessly thumping. My assistant quickly replied, "Serena, there's no mistake." In that moment, I was in unimaginable pain. It's true what they say, wealth corrupts. That year, he was nothing but a penniless man. I sacrificed everything to secure resources for him, acting as his personal manager. His family's business grew from a small workshop into a billionaire corporation, all thanks to my tireless efforts. After filming, I'd return home only to serve him. To continue the ex-family line, I endured countless hardships and agonizing pain, only to be met with this bitter betrayal. "Stop them, block the elevator." At the charity event, dozens of media outlets and reporters were already working. Once this matter was exposed, it would become a sensational headline rocking public opinion. For the sake of the event, I had to swallow my pride and endure it for now. Yet, I never imagined it wouldn't be enough to stop them. That despicable man and his mistress chose to come up the stairs instead. My assistant was so anxious she was on the verge of tears. "Serena, what do we do now?" "Some reporters have already heard and are rushing over." "Let me handle it. This charity gala is for those in need. It must proceed smoothly." Gathering my skirt, I hurried down the stairs. I even accidentally twisted my ankle, but I couldn't stop. Paparazzi already had their cameras raised, waiting. "Oh, Ethan, Sophia, you're here?" This was my cue to unleash my acting skills. All the shame, humiliation, pain, and indignation were hidden deep in my heart, yet a radiant smile adorned my face. Ethan X and Sophia B were momentarily stunned. Seizing their confusion, I took Sophia B's hand. "What took you two so long? I've been so eager to see you." Very naturally, I positioned myself directly between the mistress and my despicable husband. Then I announced to the reporters, "Quick, take a picture of us." Seeing my dignified demeanor, all the reporters' suspicions vanished. The three of us posed together and got the perfect shot. The charity fundraising gala concluded successfully. I donated 10 million yuan to help orphaned children and women in remote mountain areas. And then, I received a thunderous round of applause. When I returned to my home, I peeled off the frozen smile from my face. "What's going on between you and her? Tell me honestly." The situation was dire, with no path for reconciliation. All I wanted was the truth. Now, Ethan X no longer maintained his usual gentle, patient facade. He lit a cigarette I detested, poured a glass of wine I disliked, and then glanced at me coldly. "That girl is a new employee being trained by the company. You're suspicious over such a trivial matter? You're old now, reaching menopause, aren't you? No wonder you can't have children. The older you get, the more dramatic you become." I am an A-list actress. I'm only 32 this year. I have smooth, fair skin, a beautiful face, and long, slender legs. Yet that unfaithful husband made me feel worthless. He painted me as an old, menopausal woman, incapable of bearing children. Just days ago, he was incredibly tender and caring. Now, he despised me as if I were a discarded item, wanting to get rid of me immediately. I couldn't believe this was the same man. My voice was slightly hoarse. What exactly does she have that I don't? Though I don't want to go back to you, I desperately want to know what all of this was for. Smash, the crystal glass, a birthday gift I gave him last year, shattered as he hurled it. "Will you just stop? You're insane." Ethan X hurled insults at me, then stormed into the bedroom. This act completely extinguished the last shred of hope in my soul, a truth I had desperately tried to deny. The pain erupted violently, sweeping everything away. My tears fell endlessly. I couldn't pretend things were normal. I had given him my whole heart, put all my effort into this relationship. It turned out I was foolishly, blindly in love. Now, only emptiness remained. At this very moment, my heart had turned completely to ice. If they dared to make a move on the first day, I would retaliate on the 15th. Did they truly believe my superstar status was just for show? Immediately, I ordered intense pressure to be put on that third party. Simultaneously, every piece of information about her was to be thoroughly uncovered. But that was still nothing. What was rightfully mine, I would reclaim completely. No one who deserved punishment would escape. What didn't surprise me was that the very next day, the little mistress held a press conference. She feigned innocence, fragile like a pitiful white lotus. Since I was little, I've lost my parents. To survive, I've had to work tirelessly. I truly don't understand what I did wrong to make Ms. Serena make things so difficult for me, even sending people to stalk me. Does a top star have the right to bully others so arbitrarily? I'm on the verge of a breakdown, my heart heavy with sorrow. Sob, sob. All cameras focused on that woman. She was putting on a pitiful show, tears streaming down her face. I had to admit her acting skills in films were truly terrible. However, when it came to feigning innocence and portraying herself as a weak, pitiable victim, she was an absolute master. Her fervent fans, seeing their White Lotus crying so pitifully, immediately erupted in anger, condemning my supposed wrongdoings. What right does she have to openly suppress others? Just because she's a top star, does that make her so great? Serena T must have seen Sophia B's potential, feared being replaced in the future, and so tried to suppress her. Standing by the doorway, I heard everything and almost laughed aloud. Someone like asterisk her asterisk dreaming of replacing asterisk me? Ridiculous. Click, the door swung open. I approached Sophia B. Journalists quickly turned their cameras on me and began to fire questions. Ms. Serena, why are you making things difficult for Ms. Sophia? Are you perhaps worried her rise will threaten your position? Personal stalking is a complete violation of the law. Is Ms. Serena aware of this? Ms. Sophia is suffering from deep depression. When do you intend to apologize? Standing opposite me, a triumphant smile played on Sophia B's lips. She had called these mediocre reporters and even paid a team of internet trolls. Did she really think these tactics could bring me down? My cold gaze swept over the journalists invited by the third party. All of them flinched back, intimidated by my look. Indeed, I ordered to make things difficult for Sophia B., and from this moment on, she will have no opportunities in films or advertising contracts ever again. Everyone froze, astonished that I would confess so plainly. Sophia B. buried her face in her hands, sobbing uncontrollably. Oh, Serena, how could you be so cruel to a country girl like me? Do you even know how hard I've tried? You're already a top star in the industry. Why do you need to make things difficult for an unknown artist like me? I'm on the verge of vanishing completely. Please, I beg you, be magnanimous and let me go. Do you really want me to disappear forever? Sophia B. collapsed onto the table, weeping hysterically. Millions of her supporters' hearts shattered. They unanimously hurled insults at me, even curses. As if I were the one destroying others' happiness, the one seducing their husbands. Meanwhile, Sophia B. became the victim. Immediately, the news, Serena T. oppresses new artist Sophia B. using power in entertainment industry, shot to the #1 spot on trending searches. But I didn't care one bit. The steady click of my heels echoed on the floor as I strode in my high heels. A queenly presence, straight towards Sophia B., bewildered and uncomprehending, slowly lifted her head. Smack, I put all my strength into a resounding slap across her face. This is me, it's time to act. My life's principle has always been, if others don't bother me, I won't harm them. But once challenged, I will retaliate 100-fold. The third party was stunned by my slap. With one cheek rapidly swelling, she stared at me, her face full of shock. Clearly, she couldn't believe I dared to lay a hand on her in public. Serena, you actually hit me? To confirm I truly had the guts, I casually delivered another slap. This time, her tears truly began to fall, so much so that my hand felt a little numb. Yet, the feeling was incredibly satisfying. The journalists and the Mistress's fans erupted in a frenzy. They rushed forward, demanding answers. What right do you have to assault someone? How much more do you intend to bully her before you're satisfied? With an indifferent expression, I replied, because she is the third party who destroyed my family's happiness. A slap like that is still getting off easy. My words immediately caused a huge shock. In showbiz, moral standards are the absolute minimum that must be upheld. Disrupting someone else's marriage is, fundamentally, no different from a career death sentence. The third party never anticipated that I would completely disregard my own image and openly expose the entire truth. She cried out, "This is so unfair. I'm completely innocent. Serena isn't oppressing me enough. Do you intend to push me to my absolute limit?" Haha, how laughable. She dared to intrude on my marriage, then turn around and slander me, attempting to tarnish my reputation, only to then loudly claim I wanted to drive her to her death. Truly, a shameless person is unmatched. Remember this clearly. I won't simply let this go. Just wait and see. I will make you pay a heavy price, one that perfectly matches what you've done. I turned my back and walked away defiantly, without a hint of hesitation. My assistant, her face filled with worry, said, "Serena, you were a bit impulsive. Perhaps we need to prepare for a media crisis immediately." Yes, preparation is needed to resolve the problem, but not for me. It's for that scoundrel and his mistress. I turned back, giving the third party a look full of resentment, then smirked. Does she think this is over? Not at all. This is just the beginning. That green tea bitch was utterly terrified by my gaze. This fear wasn't an act, it was genuine terror. I exuded a powerful aura, leaving with confidence and pride under the eyes of the blinded fans and reporters. That very day, my name shot straight to the top of trending searches. A-list artist angrily slaps third party. A-list star abuses power to oppress others. Who is the real victim in this third-party intrusion? Below those shocking headlines was a picture of me swinging my hand to slap the third party. Looking at that photo, my mood was quite elated. I remarked, "It's a good shot. Truly the style of a professional photographer. I certainly look better in the photo than she does." My assistant's face distorted. "Serena, you're unusually calm. Aren't you worried at all at this moment? What if your image collapses?" On this matter, I was absolutely confident. Never. With the evidence I held, that wretched husband and his mistress would certainly pay a heavy price. My assistant further asked, "What if she really runs into trouble? Today she kept acting like she wanted to die." I smiled faintly. If she truly had such guts, she wouldn't have interfered with my family's happiness. In any case, it's good. I've clearly seen the true nature of that despicable man. As my assistant and I were discussing, the damned husband arrived home. He angrily slammed the table and told me, "Look what wonderful trouble you've caused." The picture showed his mistress attempting suicide. I burst out laughing. Who does this pathetic little trick intend to fool? If someone truly wanted to end their life, would they casually take a photo and send it to others? I calmly replied, "It's just an act. Do you think I'm stupid enough to believe it like you?" The wretched husband looked at me, utterly disbelieving. "Serena T, this is a life. How could you be so cruel?" Cruel? Is that truly cruel enough? I stood up abruptly, my face devoid of emotion, looking at my husband, the man who once stood by my side, now slamming the table and yelling at me for another woman. "When you brought your mistress to the charity gala, didn't you think you were cruel? For this home, I sacrificed too much, yet you cheated. Didn't you think you were heartless? Get out of my sight. Go." The wretched husband turned his back and left without a word. I didn't even need to think to guess where he was going. Surely to the hospital, to visit his precious mistress. Of course, I wouldn't miss an opportunity like this. The moment the unfaithful husband set foot in the hospital, the bouquet I had helped him order was delivered. An extremely large and striking bouquet. A crowd of reporters were already waiting outside the mistress's hospital room, eager for the latest news. And then my husband, Ethan X, appeared. Ethan X froze, about to turn and leave. The florist, seeing Ethan X, happily called out, "Mr. Ethan X, is this the bouquet you ordered for Miss Sophia B?" These words were like a bolt of lightning from a clear sky. The quick-witted journalists immediately captured this golden moment. The third woman couldn't contain her emotion. Tears streamed down her face. "Ethan, you're finally here. If you had been even a moment later, we might have been separated forever." At that moment, the wretched husband was still bewildered, not understanding what was happening. He wondered who had sent this bouquet. Certainly not him. However, seeing his mistress's emotional expression, he gritted his teeth and accepted the situation. The next morning, the cover photo of an entertainment magazine depicted the wretched husband bewilderedly holding the bouquet, while his mistress was tearfully moved. I held that magazine and went straight to my in-laws' house. Coincidentally, the wretched husband was also there. I slammed the magazine onto the table, then in a calm but resolute tone, uttered 2 words: "Divorce." My in-laws were stunned. They looked at me with disbelief. "Serena, could these tabloids have fabricated this story? Your and Ethan's relationship has always been good." The wretched husband's eyes gleamed with anger. "If you divorce me, aren't you worried your career will plummet? Aren't you afraid your future life will be difficult?" Was he trying to scare me? From the moment that wretched husband shattered the birthday gift I gave him, I had been secretly arranging everything. For me, divorce was just the beginning. My eyes showed unwavering resolve, my expression utterly determined. This marriage absolutely had to end. My in-laws had always treated me rather kindly before. They also knew very well that this family's current success was due to my efforts in attracting investments and acting as their representative. "You scoundrel, is this true?" My father-in-law slammed his hand on the table in anger. The wretched husband immediately denied everything brazenly. "Father, don't believe Serena's wild accusations. I swear it's not true. You should check if she has been secretly involved with other people instead. The entertainment industry is very complicated, full of all sorts. Who knows, Serena might have had a lover long before this. This is just a blatant slander." My heart felt torn open, placed in a freezing winter sky, cold to the bone. The man for whom I had sacrificed everything not only secretly cheated, but then turned around to accuse me of infidelity. I let out a faint laugh, no warmth left in my heart, only icy coldness. In just one more minute, the truth about the adulterer would be revealed. Right after that, the mistress appeared at my in-laws' house, precisely at the address I had mysteriously sent her. Thud, she knelt before my in-laws, revealing a cut on her wrist. "Dear aunt and uncle, Ethan and I truly love each other. He hasn't had feelings for Serena T for a long time. Please, aunt and uncle, approve of our love." How sweet that sounded, as if they were a fated couple facing family opposition. Who would have thought the most deeply wounded person in this story was me? My father-in-law sighed heavily. "Serena, our ex-family has truly wronged you. I never expected this wicked son of ours to cause such an egregious mess." My face was expressionless. 1,000 apologies couldn't soothe my wounded heart. The woman who had intruded on my marriage stood up and bowed deeply before me. "Serena, it's all my fault. Please hit me, scold me, take out your anger on me. Just please agree to let Ethan and me be together." There it was again, that pitiful, fragile white lotus act. No sooner had she finished speaking than she suddenly gagged and dry-heaved. My mother-in-law, who had been silent, suddenly changed her expression, her eyes darting across Sophia B. with surprise and suspicion. My in-laws exchanged glances, seeming to understand each other. I took it all in. My in-laws had treated me quite well, but in crucial moments, they would undoubtedly side with their son. My visit to them, this time, was to give them a chance to choose their own fate. "I can grant you your wish, but I want 30% of the company's shares. With my contributions to this family and this company, my value certainly doesn't stop at just 30%. The wretched husband, without a second thought, coldly refused immediately. "Absolutely not. Do you know how much 30% of the shares is? Are you insane?" My in-laws remained silent, not saying a word, seemingly waiting for me to speak. This situation was well within my predictions. If you don't give me the shares, I absolutely won't divorce you, so let's drag this out and see who breaks first. I had already thoroughly investigated the backgrounds of that wretched husband and his mistress. I was certain they wouldn't choose to prolong this matter. Indeed, the wretched husband thought for a while, then said, "At most, 20% of the shares for you. If you're not satisfied, then let's keep tormenting each other." I smiled. So foolish. I truly don't know what I saw in him all those years ago. The theory of aiming high to achieve a moderate result and aiming moderately to only achieve a low one is actually just a very basic negotiation tactic. The unfaithful husband was completely unaware that what I truly wanted was exactly 20% of the shares. My father-in-law sighed softly, his voice full of sorrow and regret. Serena, our ex-family has truly wronged you. In the future, if you ever need our help with anything, just say the word. No sooner had he finished speaking than the third party's face lit up with glee. If this weren't her first time setting foot in the house, she'd probably be cheering and dancing with joy right now. But I still hadn't signed the divorce papers. The mistress had to force herself to suppress her delight. I scoffed inwardly. Go ahead and be happy, because soon enough, none of you will be able to smile anymore. The wretched husband had already prepared 2 copies of the divorce agreement, clearly stating that 20% of the corporation's shares would be mine. Simultaneously, he had also signed the commitment to transfer those shares. When will we finalize the divorce procedures? The damned husband asked impatiently. My gaze was icy. I hadn't even left yet, and the wretched husband and his mistress were already intimately clinging to each other, full of affection. I said coldly, my mood hasn't been good these past 2 days. Let's do it another time. With that, I turned and left the mansion. The mistress followed, her steps light as air. Her face radiated a proud, superior triumph. Serena, I truly thank you for making this happen. If you're not feeling well, I could stay and comfort you. That expression made me nauseous, but I still smiled. A refreshing smile that came from deep within my heart. Go ahead and comfort yourself. It won't be long before you'll be sobbing uncontrollably. The mistress completely missed my meaning. She simply thought I was spewing curses out of bitter defeat. She scoffed disdainfully, then turned back into the mansion, visible through the glass window. The cozy family that was once mine had now been replaced by another vulgar woman. My in-laws, who just moments ago had offered comfort and promised help, had now shown their true colors. They showered the mistress with attentive care. Sophia, quickly, sit down. You've been keeping this hardship from us for too long. Tell us, how many months along is the baby? The third party, one arm around the unfaithful husband, the other gently rubbing her belly, replied with a sweet smile. It's been over 2 months, aunt and uncle. My mother-in-law's smile stretched so wide it couldn't close. Finally, their true faces were exposed. Wonderful, I'm so happy. I've longed to hold a grandchild for so long. That Serena T is truly a barren woman. She certainly didn't deserve my precious son at all. The unfaithful husband was even more cruel and heartless as he said, Father, mother, you probably don't know how much I had to pretend to suffer and put on an act in front of her. Frankly, I've wanted to leave her for a long time. A woman who can't bear children, what good is keeping her? Standing outside the door, I heard every single word clearly. HMPH, I can't get pregnant. In my handbag was my complete health checkup report. That report proved all my vital signs were normal. I was perfectly healthy. Before leaving, I turned back to look at my gleefully smiling in-laws. This path is one you yourselves chose. You can't blame anyone else. I immediately turned my back and walked away. As soon as I arrived at the company, I immediately presented the documents confirming the transfer of the 20% shares I had been gifted. In addition, I presented the 31% of shares I had acquired by leveraging my connections to pressure and buy out other small shareholders. Now, I had officially become the largest and most powerful shareholder of the corporation. The first thing I planned to do was immediately remove Ethan X as chairman of the board. Simultaneously, I would blacklist and freeze all activities of Sophia B. That third party and the wretched husband were still lost in their intoxicating happiness, completely unaware that the company had changed ownership. After some operations, the company now bore the T family name, no longer the X family's. As a leading corporation, and with me being a top-tier artist in the entertainment world, who in this industry wouldn't show me some deference? Sophia B. was completely blacklisted. From now on, advertising contracts and film projects would have nothing to do with her. When the wretched husband heard the news, he rushed to the company to find me. Seeing me sitting in the chair that once belonged to him, his fury ignited even more. Serena T, you truly are a venomous woman. I can't believe you secretly orchestrated all of this, deliberately seizing my company. A bee's venom is in its tail, a human's heart is deep within. But the cruelest venom is a woman's heart. If there's any grievance, direct it at me. On what grounds do you blacklist Sophia? She's pregnant now, she's the precious grandchild of our ex-family. If anything happens to her because of your actions, I won't let you get away with it. All those years of marital affection meant nothing compared to a mistress known for a few short months. Perhaps this wretched man didn't even realize he was the infertile one. With all dead soldiers, non-viable sperm, how could he possibly get that mistress pregnant? Her pregnancy was a deserved punishment. Ethan X, if you had even a shred of common sense, you wouldn't utter such idiotic words. You too have harmed me to this extent. I absolutely will not let you off the hook. Smack, Ethan X delivered a powerful slap across my face. His eyes darkened, radiating a chilling coldness. My face stung and swelled. I didn't cry, didn't scream, just silently stared straight at him. Perhaps Ethan X couldn't bear my gaze. You vile woman, give me back my company. Otherwise, I'll hold a press conference immediately and let the world know how venomous you are. Haven't you always called yourself an A-list star? I swear I'll make you lose all honor, turn you into a dirty rat hated and shunned by the entire entertainment industry. I replied indifferently, suit yourself. The wretched husband gritted his teeth and left. Afterwards, my in-laws took turns calling, gently advising me to return the company. They promised I would never suffer any loss in future profit percentages, but I had clearly seen their true faces. I would certainly not agree. Immediately, my in-laws revealed their true colors, cursing and insulting me. The most bitter words in this world couldn't compare to the vicious curses from people I once considered family. I blocked my in-laws' numbers. Without hesitation, I called my assistant. Initiate the plan. The press conference officially began. The damned husband had invited all reputable newspapers and television channels. Hearing news of a shocking scandal involving me, countless reporters arrived with their equipment for a live broadcast. Everyone has been deceived by Serena T. She is the most vicious and cunning woman in this world. Not only did she trick me emotionally, but she also seized my company. She suppressed Sophia B. of my company, then falsely accused us of having an illicit affair. It was all her doing. Sophia B.'s fans flocked to the scene, holding high banners demanding justice. Sophia B. stood to one side, faintly sobbing, her shoulders trembling delicately, just like a pure white lotus. Facing such bullying, I couldn't resist. I could only swallow all the insults. The frenzied fans seemed to adore this tactic. The press conference erupted in thunderous shouts. Ban Serena T from performing, give us back Sophia B. Countless insults against me also simultaneously appeared on the live broadcast. A large number of ignorant and easily instigated fans personally attacked me without clear consideration. At this moment, my image was just a hair's breadth away from collapse. Just as the damned husband and his mistress secretly exchanged glances, reveling in their imminent victory, suddenly, an image from an unknown device flashed onto the big screen. The video content was a conversation between Sophia B. and a heavily tattooed man. Leo, I'm pregnant. Whose baby is it, Sophia? It's definitely Leo's baby. You don't think it's that idiot Ethan X's, do you? Haha, he's so foolish he almost cried. He even thought he was my first and swore to treat me well. It's hilariously pathetic. Exactly every time I was intimate with him, I used birth control. How could it be his child? So that means you're about to become a father, right? Haha. The entire hall plunged into an eerie silence. The media and fans alike were so astonished their eyes widened and their mouths gaped, wide enough to drop an egg through. What on earth is this? Leo, Sophia B., Ethan X. Is this a dramatic love triangle? Ethan X panted like a bull, his eyes bloodshot, turning his face coldly towards the girl he had always doted on. Is this true? At this moment, the wretched husband roared, trembling uncontrollably, curling up like a maddened bull. Sophia B. stood rooted to the spot, staring at the big screen, unable to believe her eyes. All her dates had been kept utterly secret, so how was this revealed now? Absurd, it's all fake. Ethan, you must believe me. The baby in my womb is truly yours. The mistress clung tightly to Ethan X's hand, her eyes brimming with tears. She naively thought her weak, pitiful appearance would keep her lover. But at this moment, what Ethan X found most repulsive was precisely this accursed, green tea, act. You vile, smack. Right before everyone's eyes, the wretched husband angrily delivered a resounding slap to the mistress's face. their passionate affair of yesterday instantly turned to dust. "Ethan, please believe me, I truly love you. Our baby is really your biological child." The wretched husband closed his eyes tightly in extreme agony. Tears of pain streamed down his face. Watching through the live broadcast, I subtly exhaled with relief. What a brilliant performance. Now, it was time for my entrance. Clad in a jet black dress, my face looking gaunt, I appeared in the press conference area. My makeup skills and acting talent were perfected. The moment I appeared, I drew everyone's deepest sympathy. Serena T is definitely the most pitiful one. That's right, look how wasted she is. She's the one who must be suffering the greatest pain. The comment attack began to explode. My already large fan base immediately launched a powerful counterattack. The entire screen was flooded with messages expressing deep sympathy for me. Following that, my words moved and astonished everyone even more. I stepped forward, embraced my wretched husband tightly, and uttered a single sentence. "Loving is easy, marriage is hard. Cherish every moment." Before countless camera lenses, I performed an act that astonished everyone. I resolutely forgave my errant husband. The journalists and the mistress's ardent fans were all dumbfounded. Clap, clap, someone started to applaud. Soon, the entire press conference hall was filled with thunderous applause. Serena T is truly an amazing wife. To have a wife like her, you could die without regrets. Just moments ago, Ethan X slandered her like that. Look how forgiving Serena T is. Exactly, Serena T is pitiful yet incredibly magnanimous. From now on, I declare myself her supporter. Many who were once Sophia B's fans turned to support me. Meanwhile, I was already a top-tier celebrity. Following this incident, my image as a virtuous wife, a tragic yet forgiving figure, was firmly established. My popularity also soared to an unprecedented high. My fame and career not only didn't decline but advanced by leaps and bounds, reaching a different level entirely. This was something that wretched husband and his mistress could never have imagined. The mistress stood frozen in place, dumbfounded. When she saw me embracing my errant husband, she reacted like a cat whose tail had been stepped on, jumping back in shock. "Serena T, does this mean the divorce agreement you signed is no longer valid? Ethan X is mine, he belongs to me." The mistress shrieked hysterically in front of the crowd. She thought her life was about to change, to climb high and become a phoenix. She absolutely couldn't let Serena T ruin this. Smack, the wretched husband slapped her again. "Who belongs to you? Serena is the wife I love most. Get out of my sight." The despicable man dramatically changed his attitude and embraced me. Ethan X seemed to revert to his initial caring and respectful self. "Serena, it's all my fault. Thank you for forgiving me. From now on, I will definitely change. I'll only be good to you for the rest of my life." What did that man's heart truly mean? He originally thought having a child would continue the X family line, but who knew all his efforts would be for naught? If he lost me, even the company would be gone. He would be left with nothing. I embraced him, softly whispering into his ear, "Are you a man? Do you love me?" "Of course." The damned husband, at this point, only wanted to prove his love to me. I spoke to him in a voice no one else could hear. "If you love me, then go deal with Sophia B's lover for me. I don't allow anyone to mess with Serena T's man." The damned husband stammered. He didn't hesitate to hit me, but faced with another man, he was as cowardly as a mouse. Just then, the video on the big screen started playing again. It was still the voices of the mistress and that Leo guy. "Once I kick Serena T out of the house and marry Ethan X, with his brain, we can easily manipulate the X family." "Leo, you're a genius. Once you control the X family, you must promote me to an A-list celebrity, okay?" "Of course, you're the mother of my child, after all." The mistress's lips trembled violently. She wanted to explain, but she knew that whatever she said would be useless. Nothing was more convincing than this video, and all of this was being broadcast live. Sophia B's innocent, White Lotus, image completely crumbled, and she was cursed by everyone. Right there, her fans couldn't restrain themselves and threw objects at her to vent their rage. Her husband, that wretched man, grew even more furious to the extreme. He left with a darkened face. I smiled at the mistress. "This isn't over yet, you still have an even bigger surprise to face." Her face went ashen. At this moment she was truly terrified, a deep-seated dread in her heart making her tremble incessantly. But I had no intention of letting her off the hook. If she were in my shoes, she certainly wouldn't spare me. I feigned loneliness and left the press conference. On social media, Those who once hated me had all turned into supporters. My career had reached its peak. As soon as I arrived home, my in-laws called. Surely they understood everything now. Let them worry. This barren hen wouldn't bother to answer. I relaxed in a bath, enjoying red wine and an essential oil spa treatment. Only then did I pick up my in-laws' call. Serena, why are you only answering now? Hurry to the hospital. Ethan is in trouble. I knew the grand drama I had orchestrated was about to begin. I was in no rush. I put on exquisite makeup, then drove my sports car to the hospital. As soon as they saw me, my in-laws burst into tears. They say a virtuous wife keeps her husband safe from misfortune. That Sophia B is truly a jinx. Ethan found out the baby in Sophia B's womb wasn't his, so he went to confront Leo H, and Leo H beat him until he had a brain hemorrhage. I asked, how is he? My mother-in-law wept pitifully. The doctor said his chances of survival are very slim and recovery is unlikely. A smile played on the corner of my mouth. Really? Excellent. My in-laws stopped crying, staring at me dumbfounded. They seemed unable to believe I would say such words. Serena, I sat calmly on the long bench, scrolling through my phone. Online, comments about me were overwhelmingly sympathetic. Those who once hated me had now become fans. I had become the brightest star. Indeed, good news kept coming. My in-laws knew I had suffered too much, and their son's fate was uncertain, so they dared not displease me now, only enduring in silence. In their eyes, I recognized deep hatred, and I scoffed inwardly. You missed your last chance. You have no one to blame but yourselves. Soon, the doctor walked out. We've done everything we can. I'm sorry. Please, the family may enter to see the patient one last time. My in-laws completely collapsed. With a cold expression, I walked into the room. At this moment, the wretched husband was in his final moments. He grabbed my hand. Serena, save me. I know you have many connections. You surely know the best doctors. I don't want to die. I violently shook his filthy hand off. Serves you right. Did you really think I forgave you? You're utterly foolish. I did all of that so you would recklessly confront Leo H, who do you think orchestrated the images on the big screen? You shouldn't have slapped me that time. The wretched husband was utterly stunned. He took his last breath, his eyes wide open in death. I stared into those hateful eyes, and finally, tears fell. Looking at the man I had shared so many years with, an indescribable sadness welled within me. But that feeling was fleeting, because I knew if it were me lying on that cold hospital bed, he would never visit. Perhaps he'd be happily with his mistress instead. Composing myself, I prepared to leave and start a new life. Just then, my in-laws staggered in. Seeing their son die with his eyes open, both were in extreme agony, but I felt not a shred of pity. I had dedicated my youth to the X family, only to be thrown out and branded a barren hen. As much as I respected them then, I hated them now. Serena T, you truly are a vicious woman. If it weren't for that hussy of yours, how could my son have died? Give me back my son's life. Give me back my son. My mother-in-law lunged, attempting to hit me. I gracefully dodged, and she tumbled to the ground. I stood looking down as both of them sat on the floor, weeping in anguish. Father, mother, this is the last time I will call you that. I'm giving you a deadline. Move out of the mansion by tomorrow night because I'm selling it. The mansion, once filled with sweet memories, now only disgusted me. My mother-in-law, still on the ground, pointed at me. Who do you think you are? Serena T, that's my son's house. What right do you have to kick us out? I pointed at Ethan X, who was still stiffening. We are not divorced. As his wife, I am the first legal heir. The mansion is naturally mine, and the company is also mine. Who do you two think asterisk you are? The opportunity to choose was right before their eyes, but they didn't cherish it. You reap what you sow, you can't blame anyone else. My in-laws' eyes widened. They seemed to finally understand. So, you delayed the divorce not because you weren't feeling well, but to seize my son's assets? Serena T, you are truly venomous. Only understanding now? Too late. Everything has been arranged. I didn't want to linger with these two any longer. Turning my back and leaving, in the cold emergency room, only a lifeless body and two sorrowful cries remained. Outside the hospital, my assistant reported to me. Serena, Leo H, the one who beat Ethan X, has been arrested by the police. He's officially been charged with premeditated murder. It seems he'll soon pay the price. Oh, that Sophia B is truly pathetic. She's lost her backing, her father is about to be executed, and her reputation in the entertainment industry is ruined. Serves her right? My assistant chuckled at their misfortune. I was neither happy nor sad, my face devoid of emotion. Go find Sophia B. My assistant was surprised and doubtful, but after everything I had done, she was completely convinced by me. At this moment, Sophia B. was extremely anxious, wanting to be laid out, but since this was a murder case, there was absolutely no chance of bail. Leo H. had sent a message from prison telling her to hire a good lawyer at a high price. At this moment, I found her and handed her a detailed list. This is a list of all the real estate, vehicles, and luxury items my husband bought for you. Oh, and it also includes detailed transaction records. You must return all of these to me. At first, Sophia B. was stunned, then she erupted in rage. Ethan X bought them for me willingly. By what right do you demand them back? I looked at her, shaking my head slightly and smirking. Ignorance is truly frightening. Ethan X was my legal husband. The money he used to buy houses and cars for you was all our marital joint property. My request for their return is entirely reasonable. If you refuse to return them, that's fine too. Just go home and wait for a summons from the court. You great single mother,